The seven biggest job search mistakes.
With the unexpected downturn in the economy, if you find yourself suddenly in a job search, you are going to experience a market that is highly competitive. Not only you, many others are looking, but organizations are running lean in the midst of uncertainty, only filling the most critical roles. Also, with the success of remote roles, companies are broadening their search criteria beyond the local geography. So you can't afford to make amateur errors if your job search, if you want to land the role.
Not personalizing your LinkedIn invite.
If you are making the time to build your network, you are ahead of the game. But don't sell yourself short by cutting corners. Writing a brief, personalized sentence or two when asking to connect on LinkedIn only takes a few moments, but leads to a drastic increase in acceptance rates. You are able to easily connect with the second level contacts, that is, the connections of your first level contacts. So building your primary network will expand your options exponentially. If you are in a job search, work regularly with customers or have your own business. It is worth investing in a premium account that offers email credits which can be used to connect with the people outside your network, that is the third level contacts. Another option is to join LinkedIn groups in your industry or field of interest, which will grant direct access to all group members, even those outside of your personal network. So skip the standard "I would like to connect with you on LinkedIn" message and instead comment on something you share in common or an interesting part of their profile. And whatever you do, don't sell or solicit business in an initial outreach. This is a massive turnoff and will likely get your request deleted.
Being over eager.
While energy and zeal are generally positive qualities in a job candidate, be careful about diving in with both feet without doing your homework first. Now that social media makes it incredibly simple to reach out, you may be tempted to hit send without investing in your contact, which will likely lead to diminishing returns. First impressions are lasting, so invest time looking at your target contact social media, website or products. Follow them and comment on or share their content. Thought leaders publish information online because they want others to benefit from it. Respect their efforts by reviewing it before reaching out, and you will significantly increase your results. And whatever you do, don't forget about the power of a warm introduction if it is not available, or if it is available. Having a common connection open the door to a conversion will increase your odds of getting an yes.
Believing what got you here will get you there.
Landing the offer usually has more to do with your most relevant achievements, not your most impressive. Sometimes these are one and the same, but in today's one-click world of distraction, if you don't lead off with a skill that solved your audience's greatest pain points, you are lost them. A hiring manager wants to know how a candidate will solve their core challenges. So once if you identify their needs and which skills will be the most critical, it's worth the time to take an extra step to ensure the accomplishment you convey show a benefit of the team or the company. While your resume may be impressive, without content and application, interviewers may not connect the dots between your values and their needs in the way you hope. A helpful strategy when creating resume bullet points or preparing for the interview is to create short stories, which stands for situation, obstacle, action, result, and tie in. Many job seekers forget the final piece, that is the tie in, which leaves the work of figuring out how your achievement translates into helping the company to the hiring managers. So do the work for them. And whatever you do, don't neglect cleaning up your social media when in a job search. I have seen stellar candidates get passed over for questionable content. In today's hyper-connected world, it's likely others have access even with the privacy measures in place.
Not practicing.
It's a little shocking how many people skip this critical step prior to interviewing. Remember that hiring managers have a day job that does not include regularly interviewing candidates. So most are not trained and may not ask questions that showcase your most relevant skills. So as a candidate, you must be 100% prepared to leave the information on the table that gets you hired, regardless of whether the discussion turns in your 45 minutes with the hiring manager. Plus, what is in your head often sounds better than what comes out of your mouth, especially in a stressful environment like an interview. There are many things you will be unable to control in the hiring process, so it makes sense to shore up those aspects that you can. And whatever you do, don't forget to send a brief thank you note that reiterates your value and interest within 24 hours. An email is fine, but you might be surprised how many candidates skip this simple step, and it is noticeable.
Asking lame questions.
A useful strategy is to craft questions as if this were your first day on the job, because the questions will be more relevant to the success of the team and project goals rather than about you and your needs. Prepare more questions than you believe you will need, since many may be answered during the conversation, and think about your audience when asking questions. For example, a recruiter isn't likely to be able to adequately explain what the day-to-day role is like, so that questions may be better held for the potential future peer. And whatever you do, don't ever say that you don't have any questions or that they have answered them all. There is always more to learn about the people, company, culture, and goals.
Forgetting about references.
If you are in a job search or soon, maybe start thinking about references now. In fact, it is helpful to be considering potential references as you progress through your career, because it is highly likely you will need them to verify your credibility at some points, and you will need stellar ones. A neutral reference is considered a negative reference because the assumption is that you can come up with the 3 non-related people who will sing your praises. And don't forget to prepare your reference. It's both helpful to them and you. Share your resume, the job description, and key attributes you have trying to convey well in advance, and also coach them on the projects or examples that might be most valuable to convey. What may be the key project to them may not showcase the most relevant skills to the employer. So some guidance is usually worth it. And whatever you do, don't. If someone indicates they may not be the best person to ask, respect that they are being kind to warn you ahead of time, and recognize that this is the absolute best way they can assist you.
Skipping the negotiations.
Even if you are satisfied with the offer, the company says you are at the top of the paid brand, but you are so tired of the job search that you just want it to be over. Always take a day or two to sleep on it. And be especially wary if you feel pressured to accept on the spot, because while most companies would love for you to do that, they recognize that you will likely want sometimes to mull over the details, and many expect that you will negotiate. And whatever you do, don't accept on the spot. Yes, I have already said that, but trust me, you will want to in the moment, so it is worth repeating. A simple thank you, I'm really excited about it. When do you need my response is a phrase you should practice, and that too out loud multiple times before the offer stage. Happy hunting for your job search. Thank you for listening. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for continuous support. Thank you.